A friend of mine's going through something right now with her husband, and it made me think of some things I've been through. I feel like I've spent a great deal of my adult life trying to let go of expectations. I really love perfection. I just do. I want all the ducks in a row. I want the perfect fill in the blank. That's what I want. I've touched on this before, but I really thought if I did everything perfectly, everything would be perfect, which is so immature. It's immature. The Bible certainly doesn't bear that out. But that's what my plan was, perfection. Seems foolish, but it was there. Everything was going to fall into place and be just as I imagined. But it didn't work. At one point, my husband and I were picking apart everything the other one did. We were full out yelling at each other at least twice a week. I was not interested in his touch. I felt like I was carrying everything alone. My counselor at the time asked me what I do for fun. And my honest response was, is fun really necessary? I was consumed with trying to figure out a way to save my marriage. Though I'm sure my husband would never have known that. I was. And it turned into full-on blame of him for everything. Because I knew how hard I was trying. So it couldn't have been me, right? Seems to follow logically, sort of. It actually took him forgetting about trying to get me to see his side of things and just accepting all the blame for my system to relax enough to start to heal. And as I've healed, I know this is going to be a big shock, but I realized that it wasn't all him. You know, he hasn't been the knight in shining armor I pictured. But in that moment, he was. In that moment, he sacrificed himself for our marriage. And we've been rebuilding for several years now. There's so very much to this story that I could tell you. But I think right now I just want to say it's okay if your life doesn't look the way you expected it to look. It's okay if you don't sleep snuggled up together every night. It's okay if one of you is tidy and the other one is messy, and that causes friction. It's okay if you don't have exactly the same taste in music. Yes, I'm intentionally talking about trivial things. It's okay if you discover you can't sleep with him anymore because he likes the room 20 degrees warmer than you do. Things don't always look the way you envisioned. And in learning to accept these things, I've learned so much compassion for other people. And I'm learning to have compassion on myself and my husband. Sometimes life is difficult. Often life does not go as we expect. I just thought of a sermon I heard when I was a kid. I remember I didn't much like the speaker. He was overall boring. But he kept saying, "You can either choose to be bitter or better." I have no idea if he had an accent. I just remember him pronouncing those T's. You can either choose to be bitter or better. I want to be better. So, as it feels right, I'll tell you more about my story. Our story. But today I just wanted to leave you with that thought that maybe what you expected doesn't have to be the way it is in order for you to love your life. Maybe.